The one word that comes in my mind right now is grace. We need a gentle reminder daily that that grace is what transforms us, and grace is what brings us from darkness to light.
I love my mommy because that sometimes she always tells me that Jesus will always be with you. And then she tells us, don't be scared, just follow Jesus' words.
我爱他是因为，他总是非常开心。
他工作非常努力，然后他对我非常的体贴，然后现在他也非常疼爱我们的宝宝。
I think when you say the word love, I think of just having an open heart.
Love is a joyful sacrifice. I got into a roadblock, especially in my relationship with my wife. There was a break in our marriage, and I needed to find a new place to seek refuge and hopefully gain wisdom in the path that I was walking into, which was divorce.
I was cruising for the majority of the time. I would pray every now and then, just like when something was really on me, like when I needed help the most. But other than that, it was just me relying on myself, relying on my friends. I never really turned to God for anything else.
I actually had no faith until I met James, because like in Beijing, people rarely have any kind of faith, especially for Christianity, and we don't have lots of churches there.
We had been having some fertility problems for quite a long time. Our first round of IVF did not go well. So the second time I started, instead of praying to God for a baby, I started praying, God, let your will be done. Every shot, every pill, every visit to the doctor, God, just let your will be done. God, let your will be done.
I was in a deep, dark time in my life. I was depressed. Nothing was going right. Just everything in my life was just at a complete dead end.
I was going through a really dark time in my life. I was going through a time of just anger, and I was upset about something. I just didn't know what it was. I was disconnected from people, and I isolated myself to a point that just filled my heart with anger, with bitterness. And I knew that I was due for a change.
I didn't know who Jesus was. I don't even think I had even opened the Bible. I remember about 2 years ago, I had to make a decision, like, was I going to change my ways? And was I going to really lean in to the way of being a Christian? Or was I just gonna say, no, it's not for me?
It wasn't until 2015 when I went through a divorce and kind of hit rock bottom and realized, man, this is not working. I've messed this up. My way does not work.
I used to listen to a lot of political talk radio, going to and from work. The drives were very long, especially in Houston traffic. And when I was at work all day, I'd listen to the news, and it was pretty tough to listen to. It was an emotional thing, and I would come home after being in traffic all day and filling my days with the negativity that I would experience, and I was kind of unpleasant to be around. I'd have to come home and decompress because I was so stressed out from traffic and work and politics. I used to get angry easily.
I wanted to serve somehow, some way, and it looked like a lot of my friends were joining the military, so it seemed like the thing to do at the time. My brother also, he was a Marine as well. He had joined about a year prior when I was a junior and he was a senior, so that's it. I joined the Marine Corps. War is not pretty. It's never fun losing friends that are near and dear to you. You know, why not me? That's a hard thing that you try to battle with. Why not me? So I kind of started to grow this anger.
Where were you in your faith, and what was your view of God?
Atheist. Atheist all the way. I mean, I used to scoff at people whenever they talk to me. Like, there's no God here.
I was in foster care for almost, I think, about 5.5 years or so. One foster home I was in, she was really not nice. She used to, she would constantly hit us for little things. She also had a boyfriend, and her boyfriend was really abusive. He would just start yelling, cursing, and hitting us. I was like, God help me, why aren't you answering my prayers? Are you here or are you not here? I felt like no one wanted me, no one liked me, and I felt like I wasn't even a human being. I felt like I was just born here to be ruined. And I prayed a lot every night before I went to bed, saying, please give me someone who loves me to adopt. And it was really tough.
This dream that I had was, and I don't have dreams like this very much, but it was so real, and it was Jesus. It was Jesus himself, and he was just had a smile on his face, and he started to cry, and I started to cry, and, sorry. And that's when everything changed, just like that. And I told my wife, hey, let's go to church.
I had been praying for years, and I couldn't believe it. I was a little hesitant because he was angry and had a lot of experiences with the church that were negative. He didn't even want me to have the Bible or a picture of Jesus. I have a picture.
That was bad.
He didn't want me to hang that up. The first Sunday we came, we went to the front the first Sunday, and he decided to get baptized and become a Christian. The church has completely changed our life.
I've been looking for community. I found Jesus about 3 years ago, but I lacked a community. I lacked a fellowship. And one friend of mine said, you should try Second.
My wife suggested that I change the channel. So I started listening to Family Talk on Sirius XM, and I would listen to Dr. Young in the mornings on Winning Walk.
And of course, the normal side of me would have just wanted to have gone to the church service, dip my toes in, but I felt like God was calling me to just jump in with both feet.
I loved it, told my wife, hey, I think I found a church, but I don't know about you. So the following Sunday, both of us came, and again, she said, well, let's wait for the kids to take a decision as a family. But one thing I was sure that, look, the kids were going to love it here. And that's exactly what happened.
I'm an outdoorsman, and I belong to a deer lease up in East Texas, and a couple of guys on the lease are members of Second. We shared the passion of hunting, but these guys had something different. They either left Saturday night or they got up early Sunday morning and they went to church. And I began asking them, where do you go to church? And it just stuck with me. And my motto was always, I'm closest to God in the woods or on the water, which I am in nature, but that was my excuse not to attend church.
We kind of were always starving for this community. And then the church reached out to us, made a real effort to come and meet us and to meet us where we were.
There was a good counseling ministry here that I thought would help me, navigate through the divorce process.
And my friend invited me, so I was like, sure, I'll go. Went there the first night, and I just felt everybody with open arms, Eventually, I asked my parents to just come along and just come to a service.
One day, we were just driving by, and my son goes, Mommy, that church is so pretty. Look at the lights on it. Can we go there for Easter? And I said, sure, why not? There was an egg hunt outside, and we didn't know about that, and so my son really wanted to take part in that. But he had just missed it because they started right after worship. And what got me was the children that he didn't even know said, "Here, you can have some of my eggs." And they started putting eggs into his little bag that he had. And I just said, this is where I need to raise my kids.
Max just asked us, hey, will you come to a service? I'm like, sure. You know, I didn't know what to expect. And we sat in the back row. And for the next 3 months, we kept coming back every Sunday. And then in January of 2020, our life took a turn. My wife was diagnosed with cervical cancer. And after my wife passed away on March 7th of 2020, we had the service at the Cypress campus. And it was unbelievable. My wife was special. And I knew he needed her more than I needed her.
In 2019, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and 37 years old. And there were people that I didn't even know, and whatever we needed, whatever they could do, they did it. And they circled around us and they prayed. And it was genuine concern and service. They were there. I mean, it was hearts wide open. What can we do for you?
They support you, they uplift you. They're there for you. I mean, they're a text away. And I feel like I found a family. I found a church family. I found a home. I mean, I've learned more about the Bible, about Jesus in the last year than I have in my many years of being on this earth.
I look to my left, and there's a friend of mine I've known for 25 years, him and his family. And he invites me to come sit with them, and he scoots over. And during the invitation, I'll never forget the moment I took my hand, and this was one of my hunting buddies. I took my hand and I hit him on the knee, and I said, I'm going. The stirring was so strong in my heart, it was like there was a shock underneath my seat.
I think because of the people here, I really can see God's messages through the people at the church. They just walk the talk. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've made friends. I was welcomed into the choir. I was welcomed into the women's ministry. I've had events monthly. It's just like a family.
The people that I've met through Second Baptist and the fellowship has been absolutely second to none. I truly care about all the people involved in my church.
I just don't know what my dad would be like right now if he wouldn't have been to church at the time that I invited him. Just an amazing thing of what God's done in our lives.
Definitely, I would have been lost. Really would have been lost.
I mean, she had this longing for a relationship with Christ, but just didn't know how to get there. And so it really tested my own faith because I had to answer her very difficult questions. But just people from the church helped me answer the questions that I was unable to answer.
They spent lots of time with me. They taught me salvation.
Yeah, about the plan of salvation.
Yeah, and I got baptized at the church.
I have found such amazing fellowship. We study scripture, and it really has rounded my faith and connected all the little missing gaps that I've had.
Like, I knew I wanted to be a Christ follower, and I knew what he did for me. That's when I did the whole 180.
There was this sense of peace that overcame me.
I would get messages that they prayed for me or how I was doing. And I thought that was really, really important. And it spoke to me just because we're so busy, right? We're so busy. There's so many things that we need to do.
Since we've joined Second, we have faced tragedy in our lives. We have faced hardships. And yet through that, we have never been alone or isolated.
We're looking at almost a year now being a member, and I can honestly tell you from the bottom of my heart, I still feel that love, that compassion, and I mean, the togetherness. I mean, my goodness, we joined the church during COVID when we were all locked down, and we still got calls. How are you doing? How are you holding up? How's the baby? Do you need anything?
You know, it takes a village to raise children, and I'm so glad that Second Baptist is my village to help raise them.
My name is Jaden. My name's Camden. Jesus is like basically the savior of our soul. Like he's blessed me with a lot of things. Like there's just been hard challenges in my life, and I couldn't have gone through it without him.
It wasn't until really I joined Second and I became a Christian and I was baptized, I started to really realize, like, man, he was looking out.
It was really, really important to me to get baptized, to show that I love God, I love Jesus, and I wanted to make it happen. It was just another level. It was like really taking ownership of it.
Me and my sister, we wanted to get baptized together, and we did. And that was one of the most important things and just one of the most special things that has ever happened, and especially in a year that's just been all downhill, telling everybody that we are giving our life to Christ.
And just to see both of them, it was special. And I know it's something that Jen, my wife, would have just been super proud of.
I was a little bit emotional, especially the moment I was out of the water. It's like a bright new me.
He is all in, and when he got baptized, the shirt they gave him said all in, and it is all in since.
I don't mess around.
Yeah.
I get dunked, I come back up, and I was just like, I got another good, overwhelming feeling of just happiness and joy.
It has changed my priorities, it's changed my heart. It's revealed a lot of things in me that God is working on. I'm content. I'm feeling what it is to have joy. I've been a person that takes a while to learn. I'm a little hard-headed, and God had to break me down, and I had to hit the bottom, and I did. And of course, he was there for me, and he's like, he told me, I have things for you. I have a better plan for you. You can't even imagine what it is, and I believe him, and I started trusting and obeying.
Like, he's going to church now more than I am, honestly.
Once I turned off the negativity and turned on the positivity, that it affected me. It affected me greatly. Jesus has affected my life a great deal. I feel it in my soul, and I'm just happy to have found a church home, and sorry that it took me so long to get there.
I initiated the divorce in June. Praise the Lord. After 3 months of counseling with pastors here, through the counseling ministry here at Second, and just being committed to this community, I dismissed the divorce in September. And for the last 4 months, my wife and I have been walking back out of the darkness. Second means grace. Second means reconciliation. Love is a decision daily to forgive first.
I don't really have to go for a bottle of Jack anymore. I have this whole different outlook in life. I don't know, it's almost like the best way I could kind of put it is, in the Matrix, where you wake up and you see everything the way a little bit different. You're like, this is nuts, I see everything different for how God intended it to be and how it is. And I used to think too much with this and not enough with this.
I was in my room praying to God, and then all of a sudden, one of my foster brothers came running in saying, "Oh, Miss Jackie's here, Miss Jackie's here." And I saw her, and then I was like, wow, God did answer my prayer. I just had to wait.
I fell in love with him the first day I saw him. I knew he was going to be my son. He brings joys into my life, and then he makes a difference, a big difference in my life. I was taught to believe that when God blesses you, you bless others. I'm from Haiti. I'm from one of the poorest countries in the world. I just want him to be what God meant for him to be.
My life has completely turned around. I mean, from going downhill with the passing of my wife, I just need people to love me, have friends. And that's what I have right now.
Before I didn't believe in anything, but now like God to me is like everything.
God give me strength in the midst of the storm. He comes through every time, every time. Give a little hug to Dwayne. That's love.
You asked, do I love our church? I most definitely love our church.
I love my church.
We love our church.
我们非常爱我们的教堂。非常 okay.
We definitely love our church.
We love our church.
I love my church.
We love our church.
I love my church.
We love our church. I love it so much.